So, good afternoon, happy Friday. It is nearly the weekend and I hope everyone's enjoying the sunshine. If it is sunny where you are, it's really, really sunny where I am right now. It's 26 degrees. It's a bit of a scorcher, so I'm looking forward to a lovely weekend full of sunshine. Let's talk about a couple of players. Let's do some updates first before we get into a player that wants out really, and a player that's linked with a move out. I'll get into them shortly, but Kieran Tierney deal is expected to be completed within the next 2 weeks, according to today's reports. Celtic have just actually signed themselves a centre-back, £7 million worth of centre-back, Christopher Julien. He's going into Celtic for £7 million. Now, I know that Tierney's obviously a left-back, but for Celtic to go and spend £7 million, you'd think that they're probably getting some cash back in from somewhere, because they're not exactly flush with money. And £25 million for Kieran Tierney equates to a quarter of their £100 million a year revenue stream. So £25 million is a big deal to Celtic. It's also a very cheap deal for us, because we're going to get ourselves a fantastic left back if he does end up signing for us. So reports are suggesting that we're going to go back in with a third offer after the first two were rejected. Neil Lennon came out yesterday and said that there was no second bid, which goes against every report in the media that says that we did bid a second time. So the fact he's come out and said that suggests that we have bid, just maybe not twice. So believe who you want on that one, but we are actively seeking to try and sign Tierney, which would be a fantastic deal for us. Player number two for the update is William Saliba. Now this again is expected to be wrapped up in the next 2 weeks. The fee's been agreed. The loan back to St Etienne has been agreed, and he has agreed personal terms. Everything's pretty much done and dusted. It just hasn't been announced yet. Now, I don't know whether that's because a player's contract kicks into a new year on the 30th of June at midnight. So going into the 1st of July, that is when a player is then officially in the next year of his contract. Maybe they're waiting for that. Maybe they don't want to say anything about it. I don't know. I genuinely don't have the answers as to why this hasn't been announced. There was a little spanner in the works with a story going around, a couple of stories actually. A couple of journalists were running with this a few days ago, where we pay an extra £9 million and get him now. Now, I said on my daily transfer update, £30 million for this player, not a good deal for me. 20 million, 22 million, okay, cool, but I want him now. I want a player for now to go straight into the first team. I don't want a player that we're going to loan back to his club. Now, everyone that seems to be an expert on him tells me he's a fantastic player and he could be the next Varane. He's got a really high ceiling and he's a fantastic defender. If that's the case, get him now, but not for £30 million when there's more experienced centre-backs that could do a job now available for £30 million. So not for me. If we get him, I'm not going to be disappointed, don't get me wrong, but I'll be disappointed if we don't get him for now. But yeah, there you go. Let's move on to Mustafi. There is a God. There is a God up there somewhere, I swear. Damien Comolli, I don't know if you guys remember him. I spoke about this on a stream yesterday afternoon. Damien Comolli is the technical director, sporting director, whatever his fancy title is, at Fenerbahce, the Turkish football team. And he worked with Arsene Wenger once upon a time. He also worked at Liverpool. He's also worked at Spurs. He's worked at quite a few of the bigger clubs in England and across the world over the last 20 years or so. Now, he is apparently trying to sign Shkodran Mustafi. Wow. What has he seen in him that we can't? But there was a report going around suggesting that, I think it was David Ornstein said that since we've signed Mustafi, we have actively tried to get rid of him every single transfer window and not found a solution. Nobody's come in for him. We've tried to offer him to teams and nobody's wanted him. But this one's came out of the blue. Mustafi is being lined up and linked to Fenerbahce. Now, if that's the case, take whatever they are, whatever they want, yeah, whatever they offer, take the money. If it's 3 million, 4 million, 1 million, 50p, a bag of crisps, a can of Coke, whatever it may be, if they're going to give us anything for Mustafi, rip their arms off for it, get him on the next available flight to Turkey. The guy's been absolutely crap, let's be real, let's not dress it up. I don't think he's been as crap as a lot of people make him out to be, but he is nowhere near Arsenal level. He is a massive reason as to why we've conceded 51 goals 2 seasons straight. He's just so clumsy in and around the box. He loves sliding in and going to ground. It's like he's going down the water slide at the local swimming baths. Literally, it's like he gets onto the football pitch and it's, whee, let me go slipping and sliding. I must admit, this guy has been an absolute flop for £35 million. 35, not 3 or 5, £35 million and 75 grand a week. That is absolutely outrageous that we have invested £50 million with wages and fee into this guy. 50 million, wow. And that just shows how poorly we have run our books over the last 10 years or 5 years, whatever it may be. He's been here, 3 years now. It's no coincidence that since he's come here, we've turned into a Europa League team. And that's because he's an absolute liability. Coupled in with the fact that we've got a few in midfield. And that moves me swiftly on to Mesut Özil. Now, reports are going around right now that he's stuck here. He's not going to be going anywhere because nobody wants him. Now, I kind of believe that. The massive wages that he's on, another masterstroke from the people in the board, the previous regime that are no longer here, giving him a ridiculous contract off of the back of finishing 5th and 6th. Here you go, here's 210 grand a week for doing your job poorly. Extra to what you were already on. So I do believe that nobody's come in for him. Listen, the only way we're going to get rid of this guy is if we give him away for a nominal fee, 5 million, something like that, and then they just take the burden of his wages. His wages for the next 2 seasons totals £36 million. If you add in 5 million on top for a fee, that's what, £41 million. £41 million. If he's that marketable, if he can bring in that much money to a football club, then maybe a Fenerbahce, maybe an Inter Milan, an AC Milan, maybe one of the teams in America or China might go, do you know what, we'll take a punt on that, and let's see if he can bring some of that 40 odd million back in. But other than that, he's stuck here and he don't want to go. Let's be real. Why would he? He lives in London. He's just got married to Miss Turkey. He lives in a beautiful part of London as well. Really, really nice area of London. One of the best cities in the world, if not the best city in the world. He's playing for a decent-sized football club. We're a big club. We're not a major player right now, but we are a massive football club. And yeah, why would he leave? He's comfortable. So unfortunately, we're pretty much stuck with him right now. But I don't know. Leave it in the comment section. Would you like to see Mesut Özil here next season? Or do you think we should try and get rid to anybody who will take him? Last but by no means least is Kristian Bielik. Reports going around today saying that he's wanting to move away from the club to seek first team football. Now, last season he went on loan to Charlton and they got promoted. He was a massive part of that. He played 31 times for them last campaign. He scored 5 goals and got a couple of assists as well, which is absolutely fantastic for a defensive midfielder. He can play centre-back as well. He's doing very well in both positions for Charlton. But I genuinely don't think that this guy can step up 2 levels to the Premier League and Europa League and play week in, week out for Arsenal. Now, if he can, fantastic. But the fact that Unai Emery's open to letting him go, the fact that the previous manager didn't fancy him either. He's only ever played 2 full games, or first team games, should I say, for Arsenal. So, I don't know. If we can get some money for him, he's under contract for 2 seasons more. I think if we can get 10, 15 million quid for him, take the money, invest it back into the team. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of all of that. Would you put Mustafi on the next flight? Does he get a hard time at Arsenal by the fans? Leave that in the comment section as well. Let me know about Kristian Bielik. Would you keep him? Would you sell him? I'd be open to selling him, but that's just my opinion. I'll be back later on today. I've got a little something special coming out before my live stream at 5 p.m. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Stick the notification bells on. Turn notifications on your phone on YouTube. Subscribe if you're new. Like and share the content around. Laters, peeps.